Today I'll share with you one recipe that you'll be able to use to make 3 different cello recipes. Limoncello, Orancello and Limecello. Simple to make and 5 times cheaper than what you'd pay at the store. Now that's music to my ears. Your support helps us make this show and to come up with these recipes. These aren't even all the variations I went through in the R&D process, but now I'm really happy with what I'll show you today. So thanks to all the friends of Cocktails, our patrons, subscribers and the viewers. Subscribe below and hit the bell icon, so you'll be in the loop every time I say it's cocktail time. But Kevin, I hear you say, haven't you made limoncello on the channel already? That was the super limoncello recipe made with leftovers for making super juice. A great recipe, especially since we are using something that would otherwise get thrown out, so it gets bonus points. But since I've gotten a few requests, we'll also make a more standard recipe of one of the most popular Italian liqueurs. And we'll also make it for 3 different citrus fruits. And since you'll only need these 4 ingredients, it will be easy and cheap to make. Citrus fruits for the pills, grain alcohol for the infusion, and in the second part, water and sugar. They all have the same ABV and sugar levels, so you can use them interchangeably in your cocktail recipes. And that's what we'll do at the end. We'll make Margaricello 3 ways and see which one works the best. But first, let's make our 3 citrus liqueurs. Start with lemons, oranges and limes. As mentioned in the Dangerous Ingredients episode, make sure these are organic, as we'll be using the pills. Even organic, it's always best to wash your fruits first when infusing alcohol with the pills. We are aiming for 660 ml of our 3 liqueurs, and for each one we need 33 grams of pills. I'm starting with the lemon, and once I have enough, I'll roughly chop the pills to increase the surface area, but it will still be easy to strain out the pills when we're done. Next, the same amount, 33 grams of orange peels. Something you can use for orange peels when using them for garnish. As mentioned in the Cocktail Hacks episode, is a cheese slicer. While it's safe on the hands, it also adds a bit too much of the pith, so I'm using a thin peeler, so be mindful of your fingers when peeling, and cutting the peels of course. Once they're nicely chopped, they go back in the mason jar. And lastly, lime peels for limoncello. Same amount, 33 grams. As with most of the DIY liqueurs on our channel, you'll find the cocktail calculators on kevincos.com, so that you can adjust the amounts based on how much liqueur you want. Once you have the appropriate amount of the chopped peels, it's time to add the alcohol, which will extract the essential oils and in turn the flavor from the peels. Neutral grain alcohol works best. Mine is 96% alcohol, and I'll need to add 210 ml to each of the jars. We later dilute this with water, but for now, close the jars and let this infuse at room temperature for 2 days. You'll start to see the alcohol start to turn slightly yellow, orange and green within a few hours. Shake the jars a few times during the 2 days. And that's really the most work you need to do. While some traditional recipes infuse the peels for several weeks, I found that with high-proof alcohol, 2 days already does the trick. So strain out the peels, which are now visibly more pale, and give them a gentle squeeze to get the last drops of flavor out. I'll then measure out 200 ml of this infused spirit, based on the total amount of the liqueur we're aiming for. Do the same for orange and lime as well. I love the beautiful colors the peels imparted on the spirit, and I'm sure it will be the same with flavor. This now needs dilution and sugar to get the ABV and sweetness levels to exactly the right amount. So for each of the liqueurs, we need 380 grams of water and 132 grams of sugar. I'll mix this together using a magnetic stirrer, which you can get through the link in the description. It looks cool and it makes your job easier. You'll do this 3 times. And once all of the sugar has dissolved, it's time to mix in each of the 3 infused spirits. Because of the essential oils, we get a louche effect, similar to when you mix water with ouzo or absinthe, but here we get respective citrus fruit colors. I'll leave this to mix for about 10 minutes, for everything to fully mix and infuse. Then it's ready to be bottled, labeled and enjoyed. These are all 30% ABV liqueurs, which is similar to commercially available limoncellos. With the first batches I tried, making them with a bit lower amount of alcohol and more pills, but essential oil separated a lot quicker, which you can see floating on the top here. Nothing wrong if that happens, just shake it up before you pour it and adjust the next batch. Also keep in mind that the freshness, type and variety of each citrus fruit can also contain different amounts of essential oils, so even with this recipe, there's a chance you get separation. Again, mix the bottle and go with less peels in the next batch. But now let's try these latest versions before we use them in cocktails. I'm really happy with the vibrant color we got in all 3, but even if you'd be blindfolded, you'd easily be able to separate lemon, orange and lime based on the aroma. On the palate, their citrus freshness is nicely paired with the right amount of sweetness. We made 3 easy to sip, well-rounded liqueurs that are perfect for a digestivo, but I'm sure will work nicely in cocktails as well. So now let's try them in a cocktail. You could pair them with different spirits, for example, whiskey with limoncello, rum with limoncello, and cognac with Orancello. But I think tequila should work with all three. So to compare them against each other, I'll make 3 versions of the Margaricello. So the start is the same for all 3. Chill the shaker, then add the first ingredient. 1 ounce or 30 ml of Blanco tequila. Mi Gente is an additive-free tequila that we partnered with to bring you some special sustainability-oriented episodes this year, so go check if that bell is turned on for notifications. All 3 cocktails also get saline solution, because salt enhances all flavors, and you can't have a margarita twist without salt. 2 drops. For the sour component, you could use the same flavored super juice as our 3 liqueurs, to really make it stand on its own, but I think going with lime for all 3 gives us the best comparison of the liqueurs, 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml for each cocktail. Now let's add limoncello, orancello and limecello for our separate cocktails, 1.5 ounce or 45 ml for each cocktail. Each one will give the cocktail sweetness and its distinct citrus flavor. Add plenty of ice for each of the cocktails, seal the shakers, and get 2 friends to help you shake the cocktails. That's what friends are for, right? Double strain the cocktails into chilled coupe glasses. Express essential oils from lemon, orange and lime for the appropriate Margaricello. Drop it in the cocktails and let's give them a try. Thanks to the express essential oils, they all have a really strong aroma. To let you know what liqueur we used, Limoncello gives the margarita a boosted lime note, while Limoncello and Orancello add interesting notes of lemon and orange that pair really well. With orange liqueur being in the classic recipe, that's not all that surprising. Mi Gente works as a great backbone, and mixed with either lime, orange or limoncello, you'll get a refreshing cocktail that's perfect for this upcoming summer. We are at the end of the episode, but I made sure not to reach the bottom of the glass, so I can still toast with Roby and Sasha.
That's because we're celebrating 4 years since we started the channel.
More than 200 shooting days, probably twice as many cocktails, and countless hours of coming up with recipes, writing and editing.
All of that, so each week we can raise a glass with so many of you watching around the world and say,
Cheers,
friends and cocktails.